Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something good for you. Let's get this party started. I'm in the groove right now. I'm teaching. This is what I like to do. Enlighten you. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message, the message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. You got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinker's mission, yeah, that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is that all right thinkers know thyself. Right thinkers, your goal as a right thinker is to know thyself. Once you get there, you're good to go. I did my job. That's what I'm here to do, enlighten you. Let's go. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self daily. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And always to my yacht be true. Let's talk about right thinkers. Let's talk about the mythical and metaphysical origins of the Anunian company of God and goddesses. I'm going to break it down for you. A little more simple. Fine powder so you can digest it and understand it. I keep using the drug references. I'm sorry. That's what I know. Moving on. So let's talk about. And right here, okay, I got anything I got a picture. I'm going to try to show you. So get a minute. Now, this is the papyrus of what this says there, the creation. We wrote on papyrus, that was paper. But what we found out, that the paper can be destroyed. With a little bit of fire, it's all gone. So we started putting it in stone for what? Prosperity. For us to continue going and getting the information. The handwriting is on the wall. I'm pyramid down. Why? I understand the significance. Another lesson. It's all symbolic and esoteric. If you living in the exoteric world, you're going for the okie doke. Esoteric, the hidden meaning for things, that's the enlightened. That's why you don't give it to the masses. Why? They don't think you're too smart. I give it to you every day. I'm trying to make you smarter. Simple. Let's go. Now, the tree of life is a conception based here, a conception. Nobody knows for sure. Ain't nobody got no actual proof, but we can conceptualize and theorize. And those who want to follow it, that's what we do. I make my truth because I profess it. I live them. So I know the truth. I'm not arguing about my truth. The least of my concern. I'm trying to help you with what you think of the truth. At least I know mine is. Moving on. Anunian theurgy is the earliest extensively developed and codified religious teachings of ancient Kemet. You can take a Christian concept, you can take your Islamic concept, you can take your Judaism concept and go. I'm going to take my Kemetic concept. How about that? We ain't got to argue, fuss, and fight. I'm done with that. I just teach those who want to learn what I know. Simple. Now, from the earliest, which means it's the oldest developed religion of the world. We ain't making it up. We ain't asking you to believe it. We stating facts. And of Africa. It started in Africa. When we hear Egypt, is Egypt in Africa? I cringe sometimes, but it's okay. Instead of casting aspersions on the ignorant for being ignorant, you enlighten them. You help them. You bring them out of darkness into the light. Darkness is lack of knowledge. You give them knowledge and bring them into the light. That's my job. That's what I do for you. Understand that. I got no other agenda. Trust me. If you know me, you know. Now, what happens? It entails a system, hence Egyptian mystery system. There's a system in place of Neteru, we call them god and goddesses, who are related to what? The teachings of the city of Anu, the first place, the first time. Okay? Therefore, from the word Anu, we get the term Anunian. From a mythical prospect, from the mystical prospect perspective, the teaching of the Anunian theurgy is what I teach. We know there's Mayat, but we call it Anunian theurgy. Watch this. And it's based upon, you ready? The Anunian creation myth. Again, I keep emphasizing myth. That takes me out of the, well, all that nonsense. And if the Bible would have done that for their followers, we wouldn't be here where we are now. Misunderstanding, misconception, whole bunch of confusion. There's like ball of confusion. That record came out in 1974. We in 2024. It's still relevant. Why? We ain't did nothing about the situation that we've been in 50 years ago. Sorry, I get a little annoyed. Why? I'm living this. I don't have to worry about reading it. It's in no damn history. This is real for me. I don't know what you think about. I could care less about what they did in the past. Could care less what y'all gonna do in the future. My concern is now. That's why I live in the now. Sorry about that. I feel like a preacher sometimes. I get on my soapbox, but I have to let some of the stuff be known. It's just information. If it's useful, you'll benefit. If it's useless, what's the point? And you'll find out one way or another if what you implement it or practice it. You'll know if you've been practicing Islam for 40 years and you ain't did nothing but practice Islam, what's the point? Same thing with religion, Judaism. If your point is just to practice it, that's fine. My goal is to get better, know myself, and live better and be better. Those are things that you got total control over. If you choose not to do that, ain't nobody else's fault. So understand that. If you want it, I'm here to give it. That's my job. I just give it. Moving on. Well, yeah. Now, and it's based on creation myth. Remember, we use that word so you know it's education. The myth is recorded in parts in different ancient Egyptian writings. Inscriptions, there's on stelas, they got papyri, including the creation papyrus you see right here. We can't read it because it's in their native language. Oh, how do I know what it is? Come on, man, I ain't got time for the ignorant ass concept. Well, how do we know? The people who teach. If you don't trust your teacher, don't go to school. So every teacher that's in the system ain't proficient, ain't good. So you got to pick and choose because they all go there to say, to do the right thing, but everybody ain't proficient. All teachers aren't good teachers. All message and all information ain't good information. We're in the information age. It's a whole bunch of bad information, more important, misinformation. So it's up to you to use your discernment. I'm giving you the tools. I just gave the working tools of the right thinker. You need to be able to smell, see, hear, touch, and taste what's real and what's not. Moving on. That's what the whole body is here for, to distinguish real from non-real. All we want is pleasure. That's all the ego wants. So if you're still ego driven, that's all you want. Money, pleasure, big stuff, good stuff, showboat. If you're spiritual, you're humble, you serve the Lord, and you help others. That's my deal. Moving on. It's called selfless service. I give. I don't expect nothing back, but I get mine the other way. Trust me. And the preachers that supposed to preach, they're supposed to know that. If they lead the flock and give you good advice, they get rewarded. But no, they want your money. They want to be rewarded with the big car, the fancy house. Those are not God's servants. Moving on. And just because they can't pack a Bible and know that book, don't make them a God's servant either. Think about it. Moving on. Now, the myth is recorded, again, in parts, and it was everywhere. They made sure they put the information. All we got to do is Google. Why? Everybody can get in touch with Google. Back then, it was spread around. Word of mouth. Folklore. Now, let's talk about the papyrus of creation. I see my time is running. Let me get on the lesson. I'm here running my mouth. I hate giving personal stuff when I'm giving a lesson. Why? personal, but I want to let you know I'm living my lessons so I can use my personal experience. That's the purpose of right thinking. I give you my life experiences to implement and to teach lessons that still work. Why? Because I use them. That's why. So above, I just showed you the papyrus of the creation. That thing got burnt up before they got on. You see at the bottom, it's all frayed. Why? Because when Alexander Numbnuts came in, he wanted to dissolve all prior information. When you go take over people, the first thing you do, hit their library, hit their knowledge. Why? You want to take that away. Aren't we suffering from lack of knowledge to this day? That's where it starts. And haven't finished yet. Why? Because we haven't gotten better at what? Obtaining knowledge as a people. A few of us ain't going to get it done. Sorry, get back on the soapbox. Get back to the lesson. All right, let's go. Let's talk about it. Now, at the head of the company of God and goddesses of the Anunian theurgy is the god Ra. The Kemetic word for the company of gods is Paut, P-A-U-T, or P-A-U-T-T-I, Paute. Ra can be considered the head of the family, father, okay, of gods and goddesses. For example, I'll give you a quick example. As the patriarch, that's the male dominant runner. We running that right now. Society's in the patriarchal society. It ain't working. Ancients, my Egyptian, they ran a matriarchal society. Did you know that? No, half of y'all don't. Why? Because the men don't want you to know that. Women are better organizers. Women are better decision makers on things of the heart. Men's a businessman. Yeah, but you have to work what? Together. That's where the harmony comes in at. You can't do both. Oh, no, you can't. I got 101 things to do. Okay, that means it's going to take you 101 things to get them all done. You can't do them all at once. Please understand that. When we had a patriarchal or king of the god and goddesses, all other god and goddesses emanate from God himself, the one, the all, the absolute. Everything comes from him. However, like that, remember what we had discussed in the Anunian theurgy lectures, that Ra is merely, you ready? The image. God is hidden. So how you know? Son, that I'll put it there. So you recognize me every day. I'm here for you every day. He ain't going nowhere. Without him, we can't survive. Without the spirit in the body, we can't survive. So the image of that is the sun. It gives energy. It gives light. See where we're going with that? It was all symbolic. And when you understand it, it's nature. Understand nature and live in harmony with it. You live a lot longer. Now, the image of the supreme being, the transcendental being in time and space, without recognizing it, we'll never know. He can put everything here and we'll never know why, because he's hidden for a reason. In other words, he and all other god and goddesses that come after him, came out of him, that compose what? The physical creation. He created all this out of himself. Again, are all but what? Transient aspects of a transcendental supreme being that is beyond time. That's on the next lesson I'm going to show you. The Nabertia is out of time and space while he's outside the circle. Circle encompasses, okay? Another lesson. But that's the idea. When you see a circle, 360 degrees to make a circle, and if you use a compass, that's the dot. That's you. You staking your claim, and you can keep yourself in due bounds as far as the legs will go on that compass, as far as you can stretch out the bounds, okay? Being beyond space and time and beyond what? Raw manifestations of himself. Again, let there be light. Once he uttered the word, that's the power that God had when he was naming and bringing things to life. Same way we identify, you're this, you're that. Moving on. But we will, watch this, we're going to elaborate on the transitional aspects later on. But right now, let's talk about for that, the one supreme, absolute, comes the one divinity in what? Time and space. He considers himself outside of time and space, beyond that. So he had to put something in place, which is the sun, the Big Bang when creation starts. Ra, watch this. Now you got Ra and from the one divinity, watch this, all the multiplicity that you see in the world and time and space comes from the one. And the Anunian theology explains that, watch this multiplicity arises. Why? Because Ra gives rise to 9 other gods, hence the Ener, Neteru. And they all aspects. They emanate from him. How? In a hierarchy, meaning levels, subtle, subtler, subtler to the subtlest. And we are the subtlest, the physical form of what? Spirit. Spirit and matter becomes human. Okay, spirit descends down, drops down. We the fallen angels, I did tell you, because we have to get back up by what? Living a righteous and virtuous lifestyle. That's how it's done. They give you all these knowledges, and that's what it's about. Try to get you to understand. I get it, but they scare the hell out of you with that. Well, if you don't do right, you're going to hell. Well, we got the same thing. If you don't pass the feather test at Judgment Day, you get eaten by a man. We knew that. They had the concept. But you didn't live in fear. You lived to be what? Righteous. Why? Because you didn't want that to happen to you as a parent. I didn't discipline my kids because I want to know. I want them to get the lesson in life. Why? I care. I love you. So I'm going to make sure you get lesson while you're with me. But when you go out there, they don't care about you. They got prisons for people who can't follow the rules. They got rules for a reason. We all do. But understand that ancients followed the rules of self. Not the Lord, trust me. Where we at down here? Okay, in a hierarchical manner, and the manifested as the different principles, again, different principles of creation. Okay, the higher divinities are what? More subtle, more lighter, the ones. And those are the elements. Where the lower divinities are what? Grosser, physical. That's when spirit becomes matter in physical form. And in addition, watch this, each god and goddess has a specific principle. That right there, the principles are part of your personality that you need to perfect, master, and that's how you get better at living in the physical world with the concept mentally, and that he or she what? Presides over, that he or she controls. This is the body that you control. He give you this thing here, the most sophisticated computer known to man, but he don't give you a training manual. He give you teachers for that. He plants his people to teach the next people what they need to know. Shaman, all the different names. But I'm just a teacher. I just teach philosophies that I live by. I only teach what I live. I don't teach anything other than what I live, what I practice. And if you're going to preach, you should practice what you preach. That's all I'm saying. I'm moving on. I ain't got time for that either. But a lot of people want to do a whole bunch of jibber jabber. They want you to follow them and be sincere to them. And they lying the whole time. Come on, man. Ain't y'all getting tired of being bamboozled and led astray by these fake, supposed to be God's servants? I don't profess to be a God's servant. I profess to be a God's student. I teach God laws that I live by. Simple as that. Moving on. Now, so in addition, okay, right here, forces of control. These all are what? Elements again. So for all the elements, again, the first 5 are elements and they are principles. The sun, job is to be the sun. Air is to what? For us to breathe. Moisture for rain down on the earth. So everything is symbolic, but it's all significant. It's all part of what? God's plan. All you got to do is do your part. You ain't got to be the sun. You ain't got to be air. You ain't got to be Tefnu. You got to be a Sar. Why? A spiritual being that when you watch your ego, if you don't, it will kill you. That's the moral of the story. Sorry about what get to the bottom of that right quick. But watch this. Now, all these elements and principles that what govern the elements, they are a cosmic force that emanates from who? Ra, that what controls all of these physical aspects of creation in your dream world, in your mind. That's what God got, the same thing. We have it. He's the macro, we're the micro. Okay, we're human form, but we have to adhere to being in the physical body, time and space. We've fallen to earth. This is hell. This is the lowest level. Can't go no further. Oh, you can get in the dirt, yeah, but that's dead. Physical form, this is it. This is it. Okay, hell. Make it heaven if you live and do right. That's the power of the mind. Let's go. So, Shu, remember him? Let's start with that. Shu is the firstborn son. Again, but Shu is air. We gave him identity. We can identify with air now. Well, I can't see it. How we know? Take a deep breath. See how long you can hold it. You got to give it up. That's reciprocity. What goes in, will come out. What come out will come back in. That's breathing. That's living. That's life. He controls the principle right there. He's just a principle of space, ether, or air, whatever you want to call it. And Tufnut, his firstborn daughter, she controls the principle of water. We call it rain now, rainfall. We already got water. She ain't no. We already know the noon is here. Okay, we part of the ocean here. 75% of this thing ain't nothing but water or the abyss, whatever you want, ocean. Okay, but we supposed to be conceptually we're like aspects of the water. We just a drop in the bucket. We just a minuscule part in this big scheme. Understand that you think it's all about you. Think again. But according to the teachings, that's where we at. These divinities emanate from the Ra, who is what? The highest, the most high. No, at 12 noon, everything stops. Don't we eat lunch at 12? Why? Because our ancestors paid respect to Ra at noon. Why? He's at his highest point. He's at his full power. And the day he wake up, come up. When he get to the height of his, that's him doing his best job. After that, he's in a decline. We as humans, our prime years, we got that 10-year stretch from 20 to 30 when we just ran to go. 20, yeah, you just got energy. All of a sudden, oh, okay, the choo-choo Charlie's starting to slow down. That's called life. It's a process. Everybody got to go through it. So depending on how you direct your body, physical conditioning, living lifestyle, is how long that body will last. Simple as that. So let's get understanding for the elements first. Let's understand. So next comes what? The divinity Shu, followed by the divinity Tufnut. They respectively, and they even gave grosser elements, which is now Geb, which is the physical earth, Nut in the sky with the stars and the planets. Watch this. They are the producers. So earth and heaven produce us. How about that? Our father is the earth, our mother is heaven. Nut, between her legs is where you want to go back home. And I showed you her. She got two openings. One here and one down there. Not the vagina, not the mouth. You see it was right here. Okay, right here. But the purpose is, in the west, she swallows Ra, the sun. He transfers through her body at night, which is duat, another lesson. But when he come out, she gives birth to him every day. That's her job, okay? So 5 more divinities after the first 5. You know who they are? You ready? After the first 5 elements, the number 6, my favorite number, Asar. That spirit that got into physical form. He fell to earth to become what? The first physical spiritual being. That's our concept. And his sister Aset, his brother Set, and his other sister Nephet, and his brother Haru which is us in mastery of self in the flesh. Sound familiar? Where do you think that idea come from? This is the original. Moving on. So these lower divinities are what? The grossest ones. Again, we at the bottom of the barrel. They compose human existence and are the ones that make up the aggregate of what? The human psyche. Up here now, here we're going. And the physical gross substance of the universe is composed of what? The other 5 elements. Ra, sun, Shu, air, Tufnut, water, Geb, earth, Nut, heaven. Those are 5 elements. We can't be them. Don't have to be. That's nature. We don't need that. But we can use what they got. We breathe in Shu. We get the light from Ra. We breathe in Shu. We get water from Tufnut. We walk on Geb, and we get everything else from Nut, the night sky, and want to get back to heaven. That's what it represents. So, in a broad sense, actually, your personality, here we go, is composed of all these because you are the microcosm of the entire creation. You have Shu in you, space and air. We breathe it, ether. You have the waters. 75% of the body is water, moisture. That's what Tufnut represents. Within you, again, they reside in you from the elemental part. Within you, you have what? A little bit of you that is what? Up in the sky, and a little bit of you that is down here on earth. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you and start the focus on the lower divinities, okay, and how to understand this conception of the Anunian theurgy. Now we're going to get it as the tree which have roots where? In the sky. The tree is inverted. The roots is in heaven. The other part comes down here to hell. You can't get to heaven without going through hell. We start out in hell. We want to ascend to heaven. Get the concept. I'm trying to make it real simple. It ain't brain surgery. Okay, you ain't got to be a college degree master to learn right thinking philosophy. Nope. Moving on. That's the point. Let me show you a quick picture right here. I'm gonna show you three things. And these are symbols and signs that meant something to our ancients. That dot, that's God. That's the nipple that nourishes us also. If you was a breastfed baby, you know what that looks like. The nipple. Then you got the eye, my favorite, quintessential, what? I'm awoke, I'm conscious, I know myself. And my favorite, the serpent, the Uraeus. He's the protector of Ra. That's why he sits here, okay? He can spit 6 feet. And when we were doing COVID, what's the distance? 6 feet. When we put the dead body in the ground, how far you go? 6 feet. For a reason. They didn't just make it up. It didn't just haphazardly. Well, that's 6 feet is good enough. Nope. 6 feet is the distance of odor travels from the ground to the top. So animals can't smell the dead bodies. Makes sense? Sure do. But you still had animals with that keen sense. They knew if they dig deep enough, that's why they put them in the box. Okay? Conceptually. But they thought they're coming back. There's no less, I ain't going there. My ancients were very smart. Everybody wasn't perfect. They had an idea that the spirit was going to come back to the body. Y'all still think the spirit or the body went to heaven with the spirit. So if we can be wrong about the concept that we know now, it's wrong. You can't be wrong by the concept that you've been carrying out for 2,000 years. I'm just saying, when you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Why? Your house can break too. I can see what you're doing. Moving on. I see the clock. I got this lesson. I'm about to wrap it up for you. This is the good part. Now, we got the obelisk. You don't see that picture here, but the obelisk represents Gab's penis. The story about heaven and earth, sexual embrace, when they pulled the guard, Gab was still hard up in there. So that represents the obelisk. That's what it is, Gab's penis. Obelisk is one of the main symbols of the Anunian theology. Again, it plays an important role. And then you got others, including the sun disk. I showed you that. The divine eye. I wear that. That's my calling card. And then the serpent, etc. Christians, the serpent got a bad rap. Why? Because he introduced Adam and Eve into knowledge. That's a bad thing. Moving on. And as you can see, the Anunian cosmic monograph, cosmic monomonograph, of the tree of life on the plate 2. I'll show that later. The obelisk is a central image. The image is a 2D representation of a 3D object, an obelisk, which you can understand as an oblong pyramid. Okay, at the top is the primordial in the pyramid. At the top, the pyramid, you have a what? Uppermost point of the obelisk, and that is called the bin bin. Okay, that's the first place. That's the point. If you had to sit on the pyramid, you wouldn't be sitting there too long. Okay, so it makes you get up, makes you do something. You can't sit on the point. Okay, that's the whole idea. And this is the point where what? It all begins. The dot starts with you. And this is the point where what? The transcendental being, which is back then we called it the noon, touches a special spot in the water, which is also part of himself. Okay, the bin bin points to the first place, which coagulations occurs, and from the coagulation comes what? You ready? All the rest of the physical creation, the physical universe, like a stone falling into a vast ocean, and its ripples causes waves expanding throughout the ocean, changing its form from flat, quiet, steady, which Apophis want everything to be. He's God's nemesis, okay, into what? Movement. That beginning point of creation began at what? Anu, the first place. And Anu is also the place where what? Where Ra established his court and from where he directed the creation. That's where the concept comes from. That's what we talk about. I'm going to finish it up right here with, in the introduction, we told you, the discussion, how the interconnection of these divinities work, which are to be understood as pathways. I just read you the Kabbalah concept. They got 32 pathways broken down for them to understand and study and manifest to become what? Spiritually enlightened. get close to God, become God-like. So whatever way you style or pattern you follow, if it's working to get you there, use it, practice it. Why? Why not? If it's working. If it ain't working, might want to rethink that. That's what I'm saying. But if something is working for you, right, think, let's find out what works for you and work it. I ain't telling you what to think. Okay? But if you understand the spiritual journey, the psycho spiritual journey of life, that's what we call it, game of life, whatever you want to call it. We called it the psycho spiritual journey. Why? Because you had to think, you had to comprehend, you had to obtain knowledge to ascend from your lower nature to your higher nature, and that takes knowledge. So you have a spiritual journey, and it's expressed as, you ready? It's expressed as spirit, psycho, spiritual, cosmic forces. They mean they work here. You implement them, you manifest them. And in order to understand this philosophy of the Kemetic tree of life and to be able to be practiced properly, you need an instructor. You need to follow the instruction, and you'll see the happiness right for your face for yourself. Watch this. Now, it is important to understand the two forms of worship. One form of worship is for what? The divinities that are in time and space, and the other divinity that what? Transcends time and space. That's when I go into meditative state. I connect with my higher self. That's what they're telling you. Communion with the higher self is all mental. In the Anunian cosmic onograph, mythograph, time and space is what? Everything from the physical universe up to the heavens. You see me keep pointing up until what? The bin point, and everything at all levels of creation. The netherworld. I got to take you to the next one. I'm about to take you right there. Okay, this book is perfect. I'm gonna ride you, walk you right through the ladder to the ladder tree of life. That's my concept. That's my goal. And watch this: the netherworld, which is mine, the physical world, which is here, and the transcendental duat. There's three levels. I get to that in a minute. These are still in what? The realm of time and space. Again, the duat, the pet, and the tie, they're encircled in time and space. I'll give you that quick lesson, but that's where we headed. I just showed you that. The tie is the earth, physical plane. Pet is heaven. Duat is the next level up, the casual plane. But you see the Nabercha? You see he's not encased. That means he's out of time and space. That's what that means. Okay, consciously. Let me wrap this up for you. And I'm taking you right to that next lesson. This is going to lead you into it. But let me wrap this one up where I'm at. Okay, different worship. Now, in the newer cosmos, okay, where we at? So we have three aspects of creation. That number three is important. Why? It takes three to make a whole, not just two. Physically, yeah. Spiritually, three. See, you got creation. Ta is the physical part, Pet is the heaven, and you got the duat. Thus, the beginning point of creation began where? At Anu. And Anu is also the place where Ra establishes court and composed what? Of the gods and goddesses of creation, and from where he directed creation. That's why we call it the first time, the first place. Anunian, studying God for the first time and understanding what he's putting out. I'm about to take you to the next lesson because this lesson is over. And right thinkers, in closing, may you all live to be 100 and be 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinker like you passed away. I'll be back with more information. School will begin shortly.